about to spend over $100,000 on a German performance car, and if you make this choice based on the badge your friends like, you might end up hating the drive. Most buyers start by looking at the spec sheets. They compare 0 to 60 times and horsepower numbers. But today, those metrics are practically identical. This chart maps out how speed is actually delivered to the driver. On the bottom axis, we have finesse and control. On the vertical axis, brute force and emotion. Notice these two entirely empty zones at the extremes. You are choosing between two distinct tools, a machine built to act like a precision blade, sitting squarely in the high finesse zone, or one built as a blunt force hammer, mapping straight to the high brute force zone. Understanding this physical trade-off is the only way to avoid a massive financial mistake driven by tribal internet hype. In 1972, BMW M started as an internal motorsports division. Their engineers obsessed over track-focused balance rather than raw output. Meanwhile, AMG began as an independent, rebellious tuning garage. Their entire mission was taking heavy luxury sedans and stuffing them with enough power to turn them into overpowering street monsters. These two approaches eventually collided on the racetrack. Racing side by side in the rain forced each brand to double down on exactly what they stood for. BMW refined high-revving engines that rewarded patience. AMG went the other way, prioritizing massive displacement and tire-shredding torque. The cars sitting in showrooms today are the direct descendants of these two uncompromising engineering paths. For BMW M, the primary engineering goal is near-perfect 50-50 weight distribution, paired with linear engine power. This balance ensures the chassis maintains completely flat stability, rewarding subtle steering corrections and finesse through the corners. They have been perfecting this specific feeling for decades, obvious in the flat, composed stance of early models like the E30 M3. But this creates a strict trade-off for daily driving. Because power delivery is linear, you must work the engine at much higher RPMs to actually feel the speed during a commute. Add in the ultra-stiff motorsport-derived suspension, and the ride easily becomes fatiguing on imperfect city streets. The M demands your continuous engagement. It is brilliant for track use, but it requires effort on a Tuesday morning drive to work. Mercedes-AMG prioritizes a completely different input. Large displacement, highly tuned V8 engines built to maximize torque above everything else. The result is instantaneous, violent acceleration that pins you back into the seat the moment you touch the throttle. They also engineer the acoustics to match. The exhaust notes are deliberately tuned to create a constant sensory theater, even when driving under the speed limit. This force diagram illustrates the primary performance trade-off. With a heavier front end and massive instant torque, the weight shifts hard to the rear under acceleration. This easily overwhelms the tires, which compromises delicate turn-in capabilities on tight corners. The lifestyle trade-off is just as noticeable. The constant aggressive sound and loud profile attract attention everywhere you go, which quickly becomes annoying in heavy traffic. AMG delivers massive straight-line drama, but you sacrifice delicate handling and under-the-radar daily comfort to get it. Both brands now have to integrate heavy hybrid technology and electrification to meet modern regulations. Despite the added weight of these batteries, BMW uses complex chassis technology to actively protect its signature neutral balance. This comparison matrix shows how they use electricity differently. On the left, BMW uses electric power to smooth out the RPM curve. On the right, AMG uses it to eliminate turbo lag and spike the initial torque delivery vertically. Because modern technology has largely equalized their 0 to 60 times, subjective driving feel is the only true differentiator left. The foundational DNA, the blade versus the hammer, survives electrification completely intact. Now we map the machine to your specific driving preferences. This scorecard breaks down the two main driver profiles, the purist and the bruiser. The BMW M fits the analytical driver. If you prioritize canyon carving, track days, and the satisfaction of mastering a chassis, you fit the purist profile. But avoid the M if your main goal is plush luxury cruising or effortless stoplight drag races. The Mercedes-AMG fits the emotional driver. If you prioritize straight-line dominance, auditory theater, and overwhelming engagement, you fit the bruiser profile. But avoid the AMG if you demand featherweight agility, delicate handling, or subtle styling. Buying the wrong brand for your lifestyle means you will be fighting the car's intended engineering nature every single day. In the 50-year rivalry of M versus AMG, there is no objective winner to be found on a spec sheet. BMW M will always define what a sports sedan should feel like when it achieves perfect, understated balance. And AMG exists to remind us that driving is also supposed to be raw, loud, unhinged, and slightly dangerous. The ultimate question you have to ask yourself is simple. Do you want to guide the car or be overwhelmed by it? An informed buyer stops looking for the ultimate winner of the rivalry and simply chooses the weapon that fits their own hand.